4 o'clock in Gaza City, and you're looking live as Israeli counterstrikes continue. Just moments ago, the IDF announced that sirens are sounding across central Israel. It's a very fluid situation. Both sides are shooting at each other. GOP presidential candidate and former ambassador to the United Nations from the United States, Nikki Haley, joins us live in the studio. Ambassador, good morning to you.
Thank you. Good morning.
As we watch these images, you've been right there. You went specifically to Gaza to figure out what exactly the Palestinians wanted. And what did you discover?
I mean, prayers for Israel. And what I will tell you is when I was at the UN, this was so much of what I did because they were constantly hitting on Israel. And I really wanted to go and say, okay, in order for me to defend Israel, do the Palestinians have a point? And what I can tell you is I was at Aida refugee camp. And I saw the graffiti on the walls that was just spewing hate against Jews. I saw the schools where we constantly fought about the fact that the textbooks, this is oversimplifying, but it would basically say, if you have 5 Jews and you kill 4 Jews, how many Jews are left? That's what they were teaching the kids in the school. I was in the tunnels from Gaza into Israel. I saw where they have the ammunition, where they go and they put all that equipment, what they do. They purposely put these tunnels underneath schools, underneath hospitals, because they don't value life.
Right.
That's the biggest thing was my takeaway. If they valued life, they'd never put those school kids in danger. They'd never do all of that. So when you're looking at Hamas, which has pretty much taken over Judea and Samaria, which they call the West Bank, you're dealing with a murderous group. And we can never forget what they've done.
And think about all the hostages we've been talking about. You know, we look at them as hostages. They look at them as human shields, and they're going to put them places. The IDF bombed the Islamic University of Gaza because the IDF said essentially their engineers were building bombs. And so you've got to figure that they would know that that's a prime military strategic target. And what are they going to do? They're going to take the hostages probably to a place like that.
Well, and I think look at the fact that Israel is giving warnings that they are coming. You know, Hamas gave no warning to Israel. They were given nothing. They were just sent right in there. And so right now, because they have the tunnels and the equipment near civilian sites, this is going to get bad. It is. But we can never forget what they did to 1,200 people. They didn't just murder them. I mean, they tortured them. And we can see that with the beheadings and everything else. This is sick, and we have to treat sick people the way they deserve to be treated and eliminate them.
Well, the IDF is going after them, and, you know, from the looks of what's happened, and they have been bombing certain parts nonstop for the last 3 days. You got to figure, ultimately, it's no longer about containment. It's about crushing them. It's going to wind up being a parking lot. So what's Israel going to do? Are they going to then occupy that space?
I think their number one priority should be to eliminate Hamas. They have dealt with this literally for years, where they're constantly trying to kill Israelis. They need to eliminate them. Then they can figure out what to do with the land. But I would guess that that's their priority right now, is how do you go and just literally eliminate this terrorist group and then figure out what to do with the land.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about. We ran some video a little while ago of Hillary Vaughn trying to get Rashida Tlaib, member of Congress from Michigan, to say that cutting off the heads of babies is a bad thing. She would not say a word to Hillary. What does that say to you?
Israel used to be a bipartisan issue. It used to be one that Republicans and Democrats agree on. Now you look at progressives, now you look at the far left. I don't know how they justify the beheadings. I don't know how they justify 1,200 people dead. I don't know how they justify the torture. That's between them and God. I don't understand it, and I don't want to understand it.
Ambassador, thank you very much for telling us.